Okay. So tonight I'm going to be doing the yarn feathers. I have a sample of them up here. I'm just going to wait a little bit and see if some people log on. Hope you guys had a great day today. I could probably run through what all we need for supplies, and then I can do a recap on that as well as people log on. All that I used was the Peaches and Cream yarn from Walmart, but I have noticed that Dollar Tree has some depending on the location of the Dollar Tree. The one that we have here in town does not have any yarn, but one in a town close to us, I just found some. And they have quite a bit of colors at that one as well. But I didn't buy any when we were there because I have quite a bit of the yarn already, since I crochet as well. Hi, Bailey. But all that I did was, and I plan on making 3 of the feathers tonight. So I have 2 different colors. I'm doing white, 2 white ones and 1 yellow. And then I also picked up some dowel rods. And these are 12 inches. And I just got them in a package at the Dollar Tree in a town near me. And then all that I did was I took some of that Peaches and Cream yarn and I tied it in a knot and then wrapped a little bit. And I did this last night. I kind of did some prep just to give like a decorative edge. This is just for my hanger. And then I attached it over here and then wrapped it a little bit. And I made sure the wrappings with my OCD, I had to have them the same size. And then I also, since I'm doing 3 of the feathers, I chose some beads to sit at the top of the feather just as a decorative piece to it. And then all that I did, I'm going to go ahead and start since some people have logged on. So all that I did was I took the yarn and I measured out 1 strand to where it's 24 inches. And that there is going to be our main part of our feather. So I folded it in half and then attached it to my dowel rod. Bailey, I'm making these yarn feathers. But I figured I'm not going to put them on a dream catcher this time. I'm just going to attach it to a dowel rod and make like a little wall hanging. But yeah, I'm going to have a white one, a yellow one in the center, and then another white one on the end. And they're just going to hang on the wall. But all that I did was that 24-inch piece of yarn, I folded it in half to where the loop I had up here, and then the ends went through that loop. And then I pulled it, and then that secured it to my dowel rod. So I can show you with one of the smaller pieces. So all that I did, that 24-inch, I folded it like this. And then I placed that underneath my dowel rod. And then the ends of it, I went through that loop. And then that secured it to my rod. And you only need 1 of that length for 1 feather. Because that's your main, that's the center of your feather. Everything else is going to be attached to it. Once I got those put on the dowel rod. Hi, Danny. Tell the kids hi. So once I got that on the dowel rod, what I did was I attached the bead for that decorative piece. Because I want that at the top of my feather. Kind of gives it a little bit more personality, I think. So then for the main base, you know, to where you get that shape, I ended up cutting 60 8-inch pieces. So I did all of this last night. I ended up doing lots of prep. So this here is 60 pieces. And that's per feather. So I have 60 for this white one, 60 for the yellow one, and then 60 for the other white one. And we'll work on one leaf at a time. So what I'm going to do is just kind of set those off to the side, and I'm just going to work with this one piece. Sometimes I tape it down, but I might not do that this time. I might just go ahead and leave it, since I have the dowel rod weighting it down. I think we should be good. So what you're going to do is take 2 of those 8-inch pieces, and you're going to fold them in half. One of those is going to go underneath. The other one is going to go the other way, but on top. And what you're going to do is the one that's on top, you're going to open that, you're going to pinch your ends together and open that where it's folded over there. You're going to open that up and grab the ends to the one that's underneath. So this piece that is above your main line is now underneath that other one. Now the ends of this one is going to go through the loop on that one. So do you see how that works? This one is through that loop, and then this one came up through this loop. And then all you're going to do is you're going to pull that snug. And then you're going to slide that all the way to the top. And you're going to do that all the way down using all 60 of your pieces of yarn. So you take 2 more. And it doesn't really matter. I have my OCD, so I always have each one going the same way. When I did a class at one of our shops here in town, some people alternated, like this one goes underneath, this one goes on top, then the next time they swapped it. And I mean, that gives you a really cool effect down your center. With me and my OCD, I always have to have it all the same way. So my left side's always going to go underneath, and my right side is always going to be on top. It doesn't matter. It just kind of depends on what look you're going for. So this one here, this 8-inch piece, I folded it in half. And then that loop is going to go underneath my main part there. This 8-inch one, I folded in half, and it's going to go over top. And then where that loop is, you're going to pull the ends up through that. And then these ends are going to go down through this loop. And then you're going to pull them together. Then you will move that back up to the top. You're going to do this all the way down. Let me know if I'm going too fast, and if you want me to keep explaining how to do it. or if you need me to tell you what all I'm using again. And attach them to pretty much anything. I end up putting them on that dream catcher. And then I had done a class out at Holistic Gypsies. That was such a fun night too. We had snacks and just had a lot of fun making feathers. But they can be attached to pretty much anything or left all by themselves. Now for this project, you'll also need a pet brush. I have a couple different ones, and I found this one works better. I want to say the other one, do I have it in this drawer? I do not. The other one I have has the bristles further apart, and it doesn't work as good. This one gives a better look to your feather. So, and this one I had just ended up getting at the Dollar Tree. They were a little hard to find at some of the other stores. So your main string is going to be 24 inches. And then you'll need 60 8-inch pieces. So that 24-inch one is right here. I folded it in half and then attached it to my dowel rod. And then the 8-inch pieces I'm attaching to that 24-inch one. And for me, the left always goes underneath and the right always goes on top. But the ends go in the loops of each one. So this one goes through that bottom loop, and the bottom one goes up through this one. Then you just snug it up. And I always try to keep it nice and tight. And I can adjust it later too. Hi, Auntie. Do you see the effect that it's doing right now? So it's just creating, it's attaching it in the center. And then it's going to be, quite a ways down. Once we get all of these on there, we're going to tie a knot at the end so they don't fall off. And then after that, we'll brush it. And that's kind of what I was hoping would work on that mop head for that gnome. But I didn't get the effect I wanted on that gnome, on the mop head. Let me just push that towards the top. And I just kind of stumbled across a video that showed me how to do this. I want to say maybe a year or two ago. And I fell in love with it. I thought it was so cool. Just snug it up. And they have different ones as well, but this one here is my favorite. There was one that had where you do one strand and you attach it, and then you do another strand and attach it underneath there. But I didn't like, it made too big of a gap in between each thread, and I like this one a lot better. But I mean, it's pretty forgivable, just like all the other crafts that I do. Just whatever look you're going for, give it a shot. You know, everyone has different tastes, different likes, different techniques. If you find that there's a different technique, let me know, because I'm always up for trying new things. And I love how this turns out. And after a while, I mean, it goes pretty quick. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do all 3 of the leaves tonight, or the leaves, all the feathers tonight. But I don't know. We'll see how much time I have. Oh, what are you beading? What project are you working on? Is it another one of those little, almost like a little pottery thing, or is it like a bracelet or something? Ooh, Danny, BLTs are good. That's one of my favorites. Oh, awesome. I always love how your beading stuff turns out. It is so pretty. So is everyone still following along? Do I need to explain anything? Yeah, good patterns really help with a project. You know, there's some that I try to find on YouTube, and some of them are just so hard. Or even like in a book, some are so hard to read. Um, Sometimes I figure, well, I'll muddle through and try it, see if I can figure it out. But boy, it sure does help when you don't have to struggle with it. You guys seeing that okay? And you'll find when you tighten that up, your yarn wants to kind of twist, but it's fixable. I always mess with it and like, I don't know how, I pet it and fold it down and get it to where I want it. And if you don't get your strands 100% even on the ends, you know, it's okay, because after you brush it out, you're going to cut it to shape. So like if some of the strands are slightly shorter, it's all right because it's fixable in the end. And really, on a feather, they're not always going to have exactly a perfect looking shape. That was one of the hardest things for me to get used to when doing this craft. With my OCD, I have to have the things on the straightaway. I mean, it has to always line up. So I had to work with that a little bit. So for the people who are just now logging on, I want to kind of do a recap and let you know what all I'm doing. I'm making these leaves, or I don't know why I keep calling them leaves. They're feathers. So I'm going to be making these feathers with the yarn. And all that I'm using is the Peaches and Cream yarn that you can get at Walmart, but I've also found some at Dollar Tree. It's not the Peaches and Cream brand, but it's the same stuff. It's the same consistency and everything. And they've got great colors at both places. You can also find it at a craft store. So all that I did was I want to put 3 of them on a 12-inch dowel rod. So I made a little hanger for it. And then I put, for one feather, you need a 24-inch strand of that yarn. And then you fold that in half, and that makes your main part of your feather, your center. And then all that I did was I put the loop, after you folded it in half, put it underneath my dowel rod, and then I took the ends and put that through there to get it to attach. Then once it was on the dowel rod, I put a bead on there because I wanted that as like a little decoration on there as well. You don't have to, but it was just something that I wanted to do. And I mean, if you don't have them, but you get some later, you can always glue them on or embellish however you like. You could even put flowers at the top if you wanted. Just something I wanted to do. But I figured I would do 3. I'm going to do 2 white ones on the outside with a yellow one in the center. And then once you have those 24-inch pieces on your rod, I cut out 60 8-inch pieces of string per feather. And also with the Peaches and Cream yarn, they have some of the yarn has like an ombre effect, so it has several different colors in there. Those make wonderful looking feathers as well. That's how I did this one. I did not have to do several different colors. That was all on one skein. So I just cut it however it came off of the thing, and then that's how I put it on there. So then all you do is you have that 24-inch one there that's folded in half. And then you take your 8-inch pieces, fold those in half. The one on my left side, I put underneath that main string. The one on my right is going to go over top. So where this loop is, I'm going to pull the ends from the other one through that. And then the ends to this one on top, they're going to go through the loop of the bottom one. And then you're going to pull that through. And it'll form this really cute knot. And then all you do is just snug that up. And then straighten out your thread. And then I'm just doing that with all 60 pieces. So you'll end up with 30 on this side, 30 on the other side. And if you don't want this length, you can make it as long or as short as you want. If you want a bigger feather. Oh, and also I was going to show you. I have this cute little book that I keep all of my patterns in for like crochet. And I wanted to put this pattern in as well. I mean, it's not really crocheting it, but I wanted to be able to look back on it later. So all that I did was I have these little dividers, and then each page you can put the paper in there. So then I didn't know how to explain it, so I drew a picture. I mean, everyone learns at, different ways, but I didn't know how to write that out. So I just figured I would draw a picture, make little notes, whatever works for you. You might be really good with words and might be able to write out the whole thing, but I figured that works for me. And it's nice because all of my patterns are all in one spot. I also have a really big book that has a zipper on it, and there's tons on one side and tons on another, and that has a lot of my crocheted stuff on there as well. And I printed that out, and then once I had it printed, all those patterns, I laminated them, and then I used a 3-ring punch or 3-hole punch, and then stuck them in that binder thing. Plus, when they're in the little protective sleeves, if you accidentally spill something, they're protected. And I'm kind of accident prone, so that helps me out quite a bit too. Now I am almost done with this white one. And then when I get all of these on there, I'll be able to brush it out. I can't wait for you guys to see how that turns out. Because it's a really cool effect. And are you seeing, I don't know if you can see this pattern. Is it showing up okay? And I haven't even brushed it yet. But I like how it leaves that little ridge along that center. So I only have like 3 more of these little clumps to do. Sprinkled. What does that mean, sprinkled? Does that just mean that you shared? I don't know what sprinkled means. Oh, I think it says sharer. I've noticed that you, Auntie, you have been sharing a lot of my videos and pictures, and I want to thank you for that. I really do appreciate it, and a lot of you guys have been sharing and commenting and showing support on my page, and I really do appreciate it. So what I am doing, I had them all pushed up towards the top, and I think I want to have just a little bit of a gap. Not a very big one, but just a little bit of a gap. So it looks like it's an actual feather. Yeah, that's good. So then all you do, since I'm at that end, you tie a knot really close to where you're wanting it to stay. And that'll keep all of those pieces from falling off that center part. So this is what it looks like so far, and that's not even brushed out yet. So all we're going to do is we're going to lay this out. I'm going to move those over. Then I'm going to take the brush, and I'm just going to hold on to my work. And just with gentle strokes, and all that I'm doing with this effect is I'm pulling those strands apart just slightly. And I found this really fine brush works the best out of the ones that I've tried. And I mean, you will lose a little bit of it, but a lot of it stays there. That's the good thing about that peaches and cream yarn. Okay, I got that a little ways. Now I'm gonna go over to the other side. Bailey, I'll see what I can do, honey. They could be made into snowballs. You're right. was also saying, like if you're going to make something that has like a little sheep or something, you could keep that and make it look like the sheep's wool on there. And I also want to make sure I get that end piece so it blends. Okay. Make sure I have those out of the way. Then I'm just kind of shaping it downward so I see what shape I'm gonna get and how I want to cut that. Do you see how it's looking pretty good right now as it is? Then I'm gonna cut it. And that fluff that came off is so soft. I mean, it's softer than this yarn. It's almost like a cotton ball. And it is cotton yarn. So I'm going to start at the bottom. And I'm just going to shape this a little bit how I want it to look. And then I'll do the same thing to the other side. So what do you think so far? Do you think I should trim that one up a little bit more? Or does that look okay? And I'll have 3 of those on here. So the next one I'm going to work on is the yellow one. And maybe after I have all 3 of them done, I'll find that I'll want to shape them up a little bit smaller. That might be the case. So I'm going to go ahead, turn this back around, and I'm going to move that feather out of the way, and I'm going to work on the yellow one. So same thing, this is the 24" that I've added to my dowel rod. And then these, I'm grabbing 2 of my 8" ones, folding them in half. This one goes underneath. This one goes over top. The ends go in the loops. And this time I'm just gonna leave it down a little bit, like that way I won't have to push them down later. So are you guys getting the effect down? Am I explaining it okay for you? Oh, and I have to tell y'all, that video of my daughter and I doing those wreaths that look like moon shaped or horseshoe shaped, I had to put mine outside. I tried working in my room, in my inspiration room last night, and my allergies just went bonkers. So if you do work on those, take that into consideration. They will still smell kind of dusty, and it was taking my breath away. I had to move it. So I stuck that outside above my mailbox. And then the wreath that I had outside, I brought it in here so I have a little pop of color. And also, I was going to let you guys know, after this live, since I started so early today, I know it's going to be done, and I'm going to have the rest of the night for whatever. I'll probably end up doing another craft. I probably won't do that one live, but I will post pictures of it. There's just one item that I really wanted to start working on, because of course, I'm like addicted to the YouTube crafts and stuff, so I want to try that one out just to see. And I had done a similar one for my son's wedding, where we used picture frames and we glued 4 picture frames together to form a box, and then we put their engagement pictures in those, and then put a candle inside, a battery operated candle, of course, because we didn't want them catching fire. and then use those as centerpieces. Well, I got this really cute, it's kind of like a ribbon, but it's sheer, and I want to decoupage that. I had seen that in a video. So I want to decoupage some of the leaves and stuff on there, and then put a candle in it. That way it kind of has like a little shimmery. But I'll post pictures when I'm done with that craft. I'm not going to do it live. Because I'll probably do that one later, because when I'm done with this one, I'm probably going to organize my dining room, because I took all the stuff out of this room and stuck it in my dining room, so now all that stuff needs organized. It helps when I get off work earlier in the day, that way I can get more stuff done. I really like this yellow color. What do you guys think? It's not like a bright yellow, it's more of a gold. And I almost thought of doing, well, I did think of it. I almost decided on 2 black feathers and a yellow feather, but the black feathers in the live, I don't think you'd be able to see the effect as much. So I might do a black one later down the road. But I added the black bead just so I could have that black in there. Oh, and also, I wanted to tell you guys to keep a lookout on my page. One of these days, I will be doing a craft with peacock feathers. My boss has peacocks, and she has tons and tons of feathers. And so I asked her for some, and she gave me like 16 of them. I'm so excited. I think I'm going to do a dream catcher, because I think that it would make really cute feathers dangling from the dream catcher. But I don't know. I'll figure that out the more I take and separate those feathers, just to see what all designs I've got. I haven't really looked at them 100%, because she just gave them to me just the other day. But keep on the lookout. I will be doing something with peacock feathers. And she gave me plenty. Maybe I'll do a dream catcher and something else as well. Do you guys think this craft is going together pretty quick? And I mean, I could have waited and cut my 60 pieces out today, but I kind of got excited and I wanted to do some prep. So I did it all last night. I know we're about almost an hour in. Well, it's 50 minutes almost. So I think I would still have time if I would have cut them today. Anytime I do a live, I always set my table out the night before, just so it kind of saves me a little bit of time. So, especially if I'm working the day of the live. That way I can come home, kind of relax and everything, and I don't have to go straight to set up my table. Do you guys normally do the same thing, or do you normally just wait and do it as you go? I mean, I do have craft nights where I don't have everything laid out. I just work as I go and then go and grab things, but I find myself getting up quite a bit. And if I do the prep the night before or before I even start the craft, if I lay everything out and get everything ready, it seems to go a little bit more smooth. Auntie, I think the same way. I wasn't sure if it was like my OCD or what, I mean, I can do it, just on the fly or willy nilly or whatever, but I just see it seems like I enjoy the craft just a little bit more if I have everything set out in its place, ready, like the night before. Almost like when you're cooking, you get all of your ingredients how you need them. That way you're not always going back to the cupboard. It seems to have a better flow to where it's less stressful. You guys, I am loving this gold one. I'm hoping that the color comes through on the phone really good because it is a beautiful shade of yellow. I think Danny would love this color. She might have even used it on one of the crafts that we've done together. Her favorite color is yellow. That's a pretty cool idea. Maybe I'll save the peacock feathers and the kids can help me with the craft. They always come up with the best ideas too. Their minds and everything, they're so fresh and they're constantly thinking of new things. I love hearing and seeing what all they come up with. I'm so blessed that I get to watch them learn and grow. I love spending time with them. One of these days, we're definitely going to have to do a craft with the kids, so I'll have to do it soon. I just have to figure out what we're going to do. Maybe we'll do peacock dream catchers with the kids. Who knows? And those feathers, I did not realize how long they are. I figured, oh, it's a peacock, it's a feather. She brought those in, and I tell you what, they are really long, long. And as I was carrying those out the store, I had people going, "Are those real? That's from a real bird." And I said, "Yes, but I promise you she did not pluck her birds. They fall out." I made sure that she reassured me. I said, "I don't want you plucking your birds." Although if she starts running out. So I have all of the 68-inch pieces done. So now all that I'm doing is tying a knot to make sure those stay in place. This one seems like it went a little bit quicker, but I didn't have to explain, or I didn't explain as much as I did on that first one. Are you guys following it okay? Do you think that I need to go slower? Or am I doing okay? So here's that yellow one so far. All I've got to do, and I mean, if you didn't want to brush it out, you wouldn't have to. If you wanted to leave it like this, you could just snip it and shape it however you want, or leave it just like this, because I do think that does look like a feather already. And I haven't even shaped it or cut it or anything. This craft, and a lot of my crafts are very forgiving because I get frustrated, and I don't want to get frustrated with them, so I stick to the easy peasy ones, if that makes sense. I'm already stressed enough when I come home from work and tired. I don't want to have to do it when I'm crafting. I love doing this sort of thing. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it, and my main pressure is right down that center, because if you do pull a little bit too hard, you can pull out the strings. So I apply a little bit of pressure with my pointer finger all the way down to my thumb, down that center as I'm brushing. And I want to make sure I don't get my tie up there, or my hanger. I'm glad everyone's following really good. And I'm just trying to get as close as I want. I mean, you can get pretty darn close if you want to. And if I wanted to, I could just keep going and keep going and keep going, you know. But I really like the effect. I always leave maybe half a fingertip width, just where it stays intact towards that center. I love that effect on these, but like I said, it's however you are wanting and whatever look you are going for. But this brush does work better than the other one. Do you see the difference? Where I've done one side brushed and the other side's not brushed? I really love that effect. And I'm saying that a lot. I do know that. But oh my goodness, it just amazes me how nice and fun this looks. I'm really glad they had that video on YouTube for me to learn this, because it looks really, really cute with dream catchers and even on other crafts. You could make like a little pumpkin and do a little feather like this and attach it to that pumpkin, you know, make it in green or whatever. Kind of like the yellow one better than the white. Okay, so there's the yellow one all brushed out. And then I'll take my scissors. And I mean, you don't have to cut it if you don't want to, because that is a pretty good shape. But with me having three of these feathers, I know I'm going to have to cut it and shape it. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Megan. And I'm so glad that everyone is able to come on and see this. I mean, I do it even if nobody was watching, but it's nice getting the feedback as I'm working on the craft to make sure everything's looking okay and get your input. Because even though my mind is working, quite a bit through the craft, you guys inspire me as well. And so all of your ideas end up in my crafts as well. So I love visiting with you guys and hearing your ideas and chatting with you. A little bit towards the and depending on how your OCD is when you're doing crafts and everything, if you want something to be identical, like both sides identical to the other. When I did the craft at Holistic Gypsies, my daughter, she folded one half over. After she cut one side, she would fold it over and make sure that it was the same and snip it on the other side just so it matched. But it just depends on what you're wanting. I just freehand it. Maybe a little bit more. Oops. So what do you guys think so far? Think I should maybe I'll cut down that yellow one a little bit more? Or do you think they look okay? I might cut this down just slightly. Oh yeah, I like that much better. Might do that on this side too. Okay. Yes. I like that. What do you guys think so far? I still have one more to do. And for the ones that logged on late, I will do another run through. So I got a 12-inch dowel. And then I just created a little string, like for a hanger. And then I wrapped it, and these are about 1-inch wrappings, if you can see that there, just for decoration. And then I wanted the 3 beads, so I did measure that out because I wanted to make sure they were even. And then the center of your feather, you're going to cut out 24 inches. And then you're going to fold that in half. And where it's looped up, you're going to put that underneath your dowel rod. And then the loose ends, you're going to put through that loop to secure it to your rod there. Once it's on there, I put a bead. You do not have to put a bead on there. You can leave it however you like. So then you have this string that's the 24 inches folded in half attached to your rod with the bead. Then I cut 60 pieces of the same stuff, the same thread, 8 inches long. Then you're going to take 2 of those pieces at a time. You're going to fold them in half so you have a loop, and then this totals the 4 inches on each side. So the loops are going to go towards the center. On the left side, I'm putting that string underneath my main cord. So the open end is away from the feather and away from the center. The other one, I'm going to do the same thing, but this is going to go over top. And so where that loop is, I'm going to pull the loose ends up through there. And then the loose ends I have of this one, I'm going to put inside the looped end of the other one. Then I'm going to pull those ends, and that's going to make a really cool looking knot. And you get it nice and snug. And then you place it where you want it. I'm going to leave it down just slightly, like I did the other ones, because I wanted it to kind of look like I stuck that feather into the bead. And then I'm going to do that all the way down using all 60 of my pieces. So that one goes under, this one goes over. And then the ends go inside the loops. It's a pretty simple craft. You guys will have to let me know if you do it and show me pictures. I say that a lot, but I really do like seeing everything that you guys do. Under and over. Then all you do is just snug these up close together. And some people, when I did the class at Holistic Gypsies, some people would put the first one under and then this over, and then the next piece they'd put reversed, where this one was under and the other one was over. And it gave them a different effect in the center. So it's just however you want it to look. I like it having the same line all the way down, but it's whatever you feel like doing. What do you guys think of it so far? Do you think I have the feathers at a decent size, or do you think I should trim them up? Oh, and for my husband's birthday, it was yesterday. I ended up making him a canvas that had. I ended up using some eye, well, one eye that I had gotten at the Dollar Tree, to where he loves Lord of the Rings and dragons and that sort of stuff. So I put an embroidery hoop over that eye, and I painted it gold, and I printed out the etchings of what's engraved on the inside of the ring, and I not decoupage, but I Mod Podged a couple pictures on there, and I ended up giving it to him. It turned out really good. I posted pictures on here. And he told me that he hung it up. So tonight when I go to bed, I'm going to have to stop in his man cave and see where he hung it. I think this one's going to turn out really cute, this little hanging. I haven't done one on a dowel rod before. I've just put them on the dream catchers. And I know they look good on those. But this one, I had seen a similar one that they did macrame on a piece of driftwood. Well, I don't have any driftwood, so I used a dowel rod. Used what I had, and I think it's gonna look really cute. Oh, and I was gonna let you guys know as well. The other day I was at work. I'm an optician at Walmart, and I was just working, and I had seen a couple people that I know that has seen some of the lives and know that I do the craft stuff, and they commented on it and said that I was doing a good job. I really do appreciate hearing your guys' feedback, and it really made my day that they brought it. I didn't bring it up. They brought up my page and said that they really like the crafts that I'm doing, and they gave me some really nice words of encouragement. It was really nice to hear. So I want to let you guys know I do appreciate everyone watching and the feedback that I get. I could put stain on there, and I debated on painting it last night as well, but I thought, I kind of like the plain color of it right now, but in the future I think I will play around with the colors of the rod. And they have all sorts of colors of yarn. And this is just that same yarn that I use for the ear extenders. And I also make scrubbers for doing dishes. It's the same stuff. It's just a cotton yarn. And I love finding new ways of using it. And I have so much of it. It's my go-to for the dream catchers. It washes really nice. I really hope somebody else tries doing this, making these feathers, because it's really, really simple. And they turn out so cute. I mean, you can make them whatever shapes you want. You can make them as long or as short, any color. And just remember, if you do make some, take pictures and let me see them. Share them to me. I'm almost done with this one now. They go so quick once you get going. You know, sometimes when I'm doing these crafts that I have seen like on YouTube and everything, it kind of makes me wonder, what were they doing when they thought, oh, I can use that? You know, I'm going to make feather out of yarn because that's all they had or whatever. Maybe I'll have to do some research and see how this started, like who thought of it, because it's a pretty awesome craft. Whips up really fast, and it's easy, so easy. Okay, so I have all 60 of those on there. Then I'm going to tie a knot down at the bottom, and that's just going to keep it to where those don't fall off. Then I'm going to take my animal brush, and I'm going to apply that pressure with this pointer finger down that center. And I'm not having to go really hard on this because with it being so fine, it catches. And it really does make a really cool effect. And I don't go all the way to the center of this just because I like that effect that it stays in place a little bit there. But I mean, you can go quite a ways because it's locked in place on that main, the main string. And just every once in a while, you got to clean out your brush. Auntie, I think so too. I really want to know what they were doing when they thought of this one, though. What were they working on? You know, I would love to chit chat with the people that they thought of doing it, just to see what they were working on. Were they working on dream catchers and thought, oh well, you know what? I should add some feathers. Well, I don't have any feathers. I've got this string. You know, maybe that's how they come up with it. I would love to chat with the people that invented some of these crafts. I'm really glad they did because I really like this craft. There we go. I'm kind of using the side as I get up here because if I go wide, I might end up snagging the other one. There we go. And after you get it how you like it, then you can cut and shape. I'm going to cut just a little more. So when I hang that on the wall, it's going to look like that. What do you guys think? Do you like the shape? Do you think I could do anything different? Or maybe even stick this one in front. And I think even though it has the same pattern for all three of them, I think all of them get their own little personality as you're brushing them out and as you're cutting them. I mean, they all have different personalities, even though they're the same material, the same tools used. I mean, you still have, like, one might be a little bit thicker than the other one, or a little bit thinner, longer, shorter. But I just think they turn out so cute. And if I wanted, I didn't fasten this bead. I could lower the bead to where it goes closer. Or do you think it looks better towards the top and leaving that little bit of space? Ooh, you could dangle a crystal inside there. That would be pretty. See, that's why I like doing these lives so much, because you get to interact and you get to talk with other people and then hear their ideas, and it's something that you did not think of, but you guys get to collaborate with me. And I love that. Danny, I figured you would like it. Just because it is your colors. And just so you know, I was waiting until I was completely done with this craft to let you know this is actually going to Danny. Her birthday is on the 27th, and I wanted to do something for her. So, I'm going to be giving this to her for her wall. She can hang it wherever she wants. And if she wants to add a bead or a jewel or crystal or something in there, we can either pick those out together if that's what she's wanting, but this will go for her wall. And I have to send out a care package because I still have not sent Tanner and Megan their stuff yet either. I've got like a pile going for them. Nope, I figured the surprise was going to be tonight. I didn't want to have to wait. She's filling up her walls, so I want to make sure that she has a spot for it, or she creates one. So do you guys think that this is easy enough to where you'd be able to do the craft? They turn out so cute. And I can't remember how many people came to the class at Holistic Gypsies. And really, this craft is one of the easiest because there's not a whole lot of cleanup either. Because I have a trash can right next to me. So as I was cleaning out the brush, I was just putting it in the trash can. But you could have like a little bowl too to keep all the little fluff, which I'll be making more of these, so I will be saving some of those. I am so glad you guys logged on and was able to see this. If you were not able to log on and you watch the video at a later time, I really hope that you get inspired and you try this craft out. Even if you think it's something that you're not going to be able to do, trust me. It is simple enough. If you have questions, message me, whatever. But I will gladly walk you through it. But it's a very, very simple craft. And I think any of you can do it. And it can easily be made longer. Instead of 60, you can make it as long as you want. Just have even amounts on both sides. Oh, thank you, Auntie. Thank you for watching. And to do all three of these with the prep that I did last night, just doing the craft in itself, it took about an hour and a half. But for prep, I would say it took maybe half hour, 45 minutes to do all the cutting. I cut all of the the strands last night and then just placed them out so I had it all ready for today. I also strung this up here last night, and then I spaced these out how I wanted them and added the beads. I did all of that last night. So all that I had to do today was attach all of those strands and then brush them out and shape them. I wasn't sure how long it would take, to brush them and actually do all of them. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do all 3 in my time limit. So, although we did find out on the last video that you can record more than 2 hours. We thought there was a 2-hour cutoff limit, but last time we were able to stay on for 3 hours. So, I'm so glad you guys all bear with me and listen to me chit-chat and talk through. I hope it does inspire you, and I hope you know how much I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. And it also, I know some of you are family, so it also helps me get a little bit closer to you, even though we're states and states away. So I think I'm going to log off and do some cleaning, and then I will probably end up back in here doing my other craft that I'm kind of wondering how it's going to turn out. So yeah, but I'll post pictures of that one. I'm not going to do it live. It's just something that I'm going to do in my pastime. So, hope you guys have a great night. Hope you have a great weekend. And just keep watching. I'll post things periodically and do more lives. I don't know when the next one's going to be, but just keep checking back and share. That way other people get to see them as well. And if I end up getting to 150 followers, I'm going to do another giveaway. So keep sharing. Tell your friends. Cheryl, thank you. I love this craft, and it's so easy. I love how it turns out. So I'm going to sign off. I'm so glad you all watched. If you are just logging in, go ahead and start it from the beginning and watch from the very first part and try it yourself. It's very, very simple, and it doesn't take much supplies. It just takes the dowel rod, but if you didn't want to put it on that, you can just leave it by itself. So all that you need is your yarn and your dog or cat brush. I recommend don't use it on your pet. Buy a brand new one for this project, because especially if you're going to give it away, because some people have allergies. So I ended up buying several of these because I did a class. So if you want, check it back out at the beginning, and I will see you guys next time. I love you all, and I can't wait to do the next craft with ya. Bye.